Caitlin Clark and
I'm a fan.
Angel Reese, right?
Yeah.
They're going back and
I'm a
forth.
fan of both.
And Jamil Hill says by the time Angel Reese is done, she's going to be the Michael Jordan of WNBA.
She said about Angel Reese?
She said Angel Reese, by the time she retires, can you pull up this quote? She said, by the time...
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have been going back and forth, with Jay Hill predicting that by the time Reese retires, she could become the Michael Jordan of the WNBA. But Stephen A. Smith just came down hard on her, shutting down that narrative in a way that felt raw and unscripted. Reese made a move that caught the internet off guard, and if you thought the drama on the court had peaked, you haven't seen anything yet. Smith didn't just make a point, he set the whole conversation on fire.
It's not about black and white. It's about that white player and that black player. Why? Because of the history that they had before they came to the WNBA. You see, it was all instigated. If Angel Reese was never in Caitlin Clark's face, taunting her the way that she did when they mimicking what Caitlin Clark was doing to numerous opponents en route to the Final Four. And then Angel Reese and LSU bust their living you-know-what at that particular moment in time. And Angel Reese was in her face chirping at her the way that she did. It would have never gotten to this point.
It isn't about race but about the history between her and Clark. The tension traces back to when Reese clapped back at Clark's taunting during their college days, and that moment changed everything. Now, with Reese posting just 4 points, her performance has become symbolic of her struggles, even as Clark sat on the bench injured. Reese had the ball, the spotlight, and the opportunity, but she couldn't deliver. If you're enjoying this breakdown, drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. First off, this isn't a rivalry when you're losing by 35 points. The Indiana Fever...
It's not rivalry. Not when you losing by 35 points.
That's true.
It's not rivalry. Indiana Fever's on a different level than Chicago Sky. Let's get that out the way. Secondly, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special, she's not Caitlin Clark as a player. Caitlin Clark is on a different level. We just have to...
...are simply on another level compared to the Chicago Sky. While Angel Reese has undeniable talent and moments of brilliance, she is not on Caitlin Clark's level as a player, and it's time to acknowledge that. Her performance wasn't a statement of intent but more like a forgettable showing where the basket seemed invisible. While Clark remained impactful even from the sidelines, Reese's contribution was so underwhelming it almost felt a bit
to see Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever take on Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. The game was a blowout as the Fever beat down Chicago 93-58 with Clark's triple-double leading the way. But the biggest headline coming out of the game on Saturday is the investigation the WNBA is conducting into allegations of hateful fan comments directed at Angel Reese. It happened after this play when Clark slapped at the ball after Reese grabbed an offensive
apologetic. 4 points isn't just a stat line, it's a sign of deeper struggles, as if she's auditioning for an exit rather than staking her claim. Fans were eager to see Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever take on Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky, but the game turned into a blowout with the Fever dominating 93-58, led by Clark's triple-double. However, the bigger story emerging from Saturday's game is the WNBA's investigation into hateful fan comments directed at Reese following a play.
Reese, part 38, let's get it!
Life throws her lemons, she makes bricks.
Bang!
PSA to anyone watching, she is right-handed. Right-handed, by the way. She missed the rim by 3 feet, man.
Bang!
I gotta say, this is my favorite summer sitcom. Pecan? Butter pecan? Bang! Here's a stat. She's been blocked 20 times, and she's only made 21 hoops.
What? Bang!
Where Clark swiped at the ball after a Reese rebound. Reese grabbed 12 rebounds with relentless energy, but rebounds without converting them into points are like collecting participation trophies. She seems to treat scoring as an afterthought, as if the league handed her an opportunity and she casually declined. Whether it's missed shots, awkward plays, or questionable effort, her performance is becoming a recurring punchline. Despite being right-handed, her misses are often wide off the mark, and even the broadcast crew struggles to find positives. She contributes elsewhere, but where exactly? Her evening felt more like a cameo on a reality show than a professional basketball game, and her stat line reflects that disconnect.
Because I was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her. But it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happen to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of.
From the start, I've said that the resentment toward Reese isn't really about her personally but about what she represents. Before she arrived, many outstanding black female players in the WNBA never received this level of attention. Reese walked in with swagger, flawless lashes, nails, hair, and unshakable confidence, but her 4-point game screamed that she peaked in college. This isn't the Bayou Barbie takeover fans expected. It's becoming more like a dramatic series where she's left wondering where everyone went. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark, even when double-teamed, fouled, or injured, still delivers points, assists, and three-pointers with ease. She doesn't just show up, she performs. Reese had the perfect setup with Clark out, the spotlight on her, and the mic handed to her, and
Elaborate a little bit more on that in just a second, but before I do that, I want to ask you your thoughts about apparently some racial animus that was thrown in the direction of Angel Reese. The Chicago Sky have gotten involved, talking about they're going to protect their players at all costs. The WNBA has issued a statement saying it abhors and discourages hate of any kind, etc., etc. Your thoughts about it? Here's the WNBA statement. The WNBA strongly condemns racism, hate, and discrimination in all forms. They have no place in our league or in society. We are aware of the allegations and are looking into the matter. Your thoughts about that element of all of this, where you believe it emanates from, and do you think it will ever subside?
she still failed to rise to the occasion. Before diving deeper, let's address the racist comments aimed at Angel Reese. The Chicago Sky have made it clear they will protect their players at all costs, and the WNBA issued a statement strongly condemning all forms of racism, hate, and discrimination, stating they have no place in the league or society.
Oh man, the latter part of that, Stephen A., is quite the thing to think on. I think when you go back to the impetus of the rivalry that we have between Caitlin and Angel Reese, I remember funny clips on the internet.
Stat, she's 19 of 59 from less than 5 feet away. How about that, man? Dang! She should work in housekeeping for hotels because she could turn it over quickly. Lost by 27, scored only 4 points against the Indiana Fever. To mention no Caitlin Clark, no problem, give and go. Like a given no shot of working. Bang!
You prefer car or plane?
Car or plane for what? For how you want to travel! That's too many steps and you can't do that. Bang!
They are investigating the allegations. What are your thoughts on this situation, where it comes from, and whether it will ever truly go away? Reese's rebound-heavy stat line to 12 boards shows hustle, but rebounds don't equal impact. You can box out multiple players and still miss your shots. She was grabbing rebounds like collectibles, but she never used them effectively. The rivalry between Clark
I
and
have yet to see a single example of Angel Reese being a leader. Outside of rebounding her own missed layups, what does Angel Reese do? What is her contribution? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it. I know I'm harsh on Angel Reese, but she considers herself a star. If you're going to call yourself a star, I expect you to perform like a star, especially in big moments. Caitlin Clark was injured. Angel Reese was the only star on the court last night. And for 27 minutes, she completely
Reese has its roots in those memorable college moments, but the numbers are troubling. She's struggling from close range, turning the ball over frequently, and delivering little beyond rebounds. Her team lost by 27 points, she scored only 4, and even with Clark out, she couldn't step up. There are whispers about her comparing herself to Michael Jordan, but she's not delivering MVP-level performances. She's not showing leadership beyond rebounding her own missed layups. If she calls herself a star, she needs to perform like one, especially in big moments. With Clark injured, Reese was the only star on the court, yet she
taunting opponents a couple of years back before LSU smacked Iowa around in the national championship game or so. It was Angel Reese that was clapping back at Caitlin Clark once it was Caitlin Clark's turn to have her comeuppance. And that's what made Angel Reese famous. Now, Angel Reese experienced vitriol thereafter. It was tough for her to deal with, as she articulated.
disappeared for 27 minutes. This was supposed to be her breakout year, but instead she's become a viral moment that faded quickly. Like a trend that started high and fell flat. Reese's popularity is largely tied to her interactions with Clark, back when Clark was taunting opponents and Reese clapped back during the national championship. That exchange made Reese famous, but it also brought vitriol that was tough for her to handle. Despite that, people genuinely wanted her to succeed. She entered the league as a headline-making machine, a rival to Clark, full of drama and flair, a spectacle the WNBA could market. She had charisma, college stardom, and viral moments. But none of that matters when her performance wouldn't even intimidate a junior varsity team. 4 points isn't just underwhelming, it's becoming symbolic of her struggles. Unless she's performing some kind of satire, this isn't working. Fans are starting to notice, and social media is buzzing, not with praise, but with confusion. She grabs rebounds but is absent offensively. Even her devoted fans are scrambling to defend her, but the reality is that
Well, there's a lot of reaction coming in from last night's drubbing, destruction, annihilation, cremation, whatever you want to call it, roasting, sauteed, whatever your form of cooking may be. But the Indiana Fever absolutely dismantled the Chicago Sky.
struggling to keep up. There's been a flood of reactions to last night's game, which was a complete dismantling of the Chicago Sky by the Indiana Fever. What makes it so striking is that Caitlin Clark, even while sidelined with an injury, still dominates the conversation without playing. Clark sat on the bench with her ankle wrapped, sipping electrolytes, while Reese looked lost on the court, and yet Clark felt like the bigger presence. How do you lose the spotlight to someone not even in uniform? Now rumors are circulating about whether Reese might get benched or rested for development, which is basketball code for serious concern. This isn't just a slump, it's a reckoning. The Sky didn't draft a social media star, they wanted a franchise cornerstone. Instead, they're getting a rebound machine with a scoring allergy. It's frustrating that this conversation keeps circling.
Only women that get this. I'm tired of it. Like, here's my thing, you guys. What else? Who are these girls? Who are these girls that are hating on Caitlin Clark? Are you just combing through Twitter? What else are these women supposed to do? Fawn over her? Fangirl over her? Bend the fucking knee, kiss the ring. Like, what do you want from them? We cannot every time the girl plays a game. She got 40 games, guys. She got 35 more games. We are not every single game gonna revisit and retread this same tired ass rhetoric that all these girls are hating on her, and they need to be thankful they have been.
Circling back to women hating on Caitlin Clark. What else are they supposed to do? Fawn over her, bend the knee, or kiss the ring? Every time Clark plays, she has more games ahead, and we don't need to revisit the same tired rhetoric that all these women are hating on her. Now, let's be honest, teams want killers on the court, not just players with great aesthetics and motivational posts. If you're going to flex on social media, you need to back it up with more than poor shooting and vibes. Even Stephen A. Smith must have looked at that box score and reacted strongly. Reese needs to understand that this isn't LSU anymore. The WNBA isn't a charity that hands out all-star votes for effort. You don't get minutes.
What an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pre-game catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at
for memories, and her stats look like a misprint. Reese put significant time and effort into her pre-game outfit, making sure her boots matched her jacket, her gloves matched her hat. But that raises an important question. Does she spend more time on her pre-game appearance than on improving her game? The tension is building, and every minute she spends on the court without production adds more scrutiny. This is the big leagues, not college, and you're expected to earn every second of playing time. Coaches won't give you 30 minutes just for personality. The moment your efficiency drops, so does your playing time. If you're
along, and she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. 4th in the league, her rookie year.
Wow.
Outstanding. She's like she's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability. Didn't win a national championship. Lost to LSU one year. We lost to South Carolina another year. But she's outstanding and clearly worthy of being the number 1 overall pick. And what I was saying to everybody is ride the wave. Rising tide lifts all.
You're not scoring, assisting, or defending with impact, you're just taking up space. Reese isn't just playing basketball anymore. She's fighting to stay relevant in a league that moves on from hype quickly. The Rookie of the Year came in and made an immediate impact, finishing 4th in MVP voting in her first season, an incredible achievement. She has a game reminiscent of Steph Curry, with the ability to pull up from anywhere. She didn't win a national championship, losing to LSU and then to South Carolina, but she's still outstanding and deserves to be the number 1 overall pick. The message has always been to ride the wave because a rising tide lifts all boats. But now the stakes have changed. It's no longer about potential but performance. If she doesn't bounce back quickly, we might be looking at a documentary years from now about hype that never materialized. Then there's Tyler Marsh, tasked with unlocking Reese's potential like a hidden NBA 2K character.
He's at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being 4th in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to the...
Tried everything, power forward, small ball 5, wing assignments, but none of it works if she can't convert. It's like rearranging furniture in a haunted house and wondering why the problem persists. No matter where Marsh puts her, if she's only putting up 4 points, nothing works. Chicago has a serious problem. She dominated at Iowa in college and carried that momentum into the pros without a break, earning All-Star honors, finishing 4th in MVP voting, and being the clear Rookie of the Year. We know what she brings to the table. Meanwhile, Clark is on the injury list and still remains the centerpiece of the WNBA. Even in a walking boot, she could outshine Reese in both stats and storylines. On her worst day, Clark finds ways to impact the game: assists, three-pointers, drawing defenders. Even off the court, she's the story. When she returns, she won't ease in, she'll come back locked in. Reese's stat line...
I actually feel bad for Angel Reese at this point, and it has nothing to do with like how she's handled herself or anything. It's just simply Caitlin Clark is so much better than Angel Reese at basketball that it doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, I think Angel Reese is struggling with the fact that Caitlin Clark is better at her best thing than she is.
Well, she's better at everything.
And
she had a triple-double. She's tied for the 3rd most triple-doubles in WNBA history, and she's played 50 games.
However, looks like she's playing a different sport. Crowd reactions say it all. When the ball goes to Reese, it's not excitement but a groan of disappointment. It's like watching someone struggle to recall their password in front of thousands. The coaching staff moves her around like a chess piece, but that's not a system, it's a desperate search for a spark that isn't there. It's hard not to feel for Reese at this point. It's not about her attitude, it's simply that Clark is so much better at basketball that it almost feels unfair. Reese is struggling with the reality that Clark is better at everything, including her own best skills. Clark is tied for the 3rd most triple-doubles in WNBA history and has only played 50 games. Reese isn't delivering, developing, or adjusting. Her impact is all...
It comes with the crown.
I got to push back on you a little bit.
Okay.
I think you're being a little bit too PC. Let's call it what it is. I am not trying to say that she should be criticized or she is wrong. What I'm saying is by pulling it down, clearly you felt there was something wrong with it. Now, yes, you are 22. Yes, you are young. And there's a lot of things that we didn't want people to know about when we were her age. Fair enough, especially me, okay? Because I'm 30 plus years removed from that age. I got that part. There was no social media then or whatever. But here's my point to you. She knows this social media.
All rebounds and little else, and it's getting harder to justify her minutes when hungrier players are waiting. Clark isn't coming back to be solid, she's coming back to remind everyone she's the face of the league. When she starts dropping 20 again, Reese's 4-point performances will look even worse. The league needs players who elevate the game, not just their brands. If Reese doesn't find her offensive rhythm soon, she'll be forgotten. preseason hype, nil deals, and media buzz fade quickly when the box score doesn't back it up. The crown comes with its burdens. There's a fine line between being honest and being unfair, and while Reese is young, she knows she's in the public eye. She's not naive about social media. Even within the team, the vibe must be tense. Imagine playing your heart out for 10 minutes off the bench while someone
Of the WNBA will be Caitlin Clark. If she stays healthy, there's a group of them that would hope for her to be out. But
why do you say she's going to be the Jackie Robinson of the WNBA?
Well,
it's not like she's the first white girl.
She's not the first white girl, but she's the first white superstar at the levels where she's scoring these, the threes she's shooting. She's like a Steph Curry. She's the first actual superstar that people care. When's the last time we watched like college basketball? If I told you, tell me the greatest college basketball female basketball players last 30 years, and you watch I know her. She's our meat, but you look at some of these names, you see some of these people on how they
else gets 30 minutes with little to show for it. That kills morale. For the front office, this is an existential crisis. They built a brand around her, and now the product is underperforming. She's not returning value. Fans were sold a generational rivalry, Clark versus Reese, Iowa versus LSU, but what they got was Clark delivering highlights on one leg and Reese running around without impact. They promised fireworks and delivered a sparkler in the rain. If Clark stays healthy, she could become a transformative figure for the WNBA, not as the first white player but as the first white superstar at this level, much like Steph Curry in the NBA, the first true superstar people genuinely care about. When's the last time we were this invested in college basketball? If this trend continues, it won't be funny anymore, it'll be sad, a story of what could have been. Clark thriving while Reese fades is a perfect lesson that branding only gets you so far. Production is what endures. It's time to face the truth. If the Sky want to win, they need to stop hoping for magic. Reese isn't the player they hoped for. Until she puts up real numbers, she's not the answer but a liability and a warning. If she doesn't change quickly, she won't just lose games, she'll lose her place in the league. The WNBA doesn't wait for you to figure things out. Either you contribute or you're gone. If you don't want to miss Reese's next moment, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Click the video on screen, and we'll see you in the next one.